The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, this is TVWAN News. I'm Jasmine Irojak.
And I'm Rex Litter.
In this edition, opposition to test VONC waters again in November, Gelegele resettlement area records high petty crime, and Aton reflects on stellar season. Former Prime Minister and member for Yalebo Pangia, Peter O'Neill, is concerned that investors have lost confidence in buying government-inscribed stocks and treasury bills. As a result, the government is not able to raise enough money to pay for critical government expenditure despite giving a higher interest rate of 8.9% on treasury bills. O'Neill raised this concern after receiving a copy of an email from the Treasury Securities Division, asking investors to buy a special, non-competitive Treasury bill of 300 million kina after the government failed to raise the targeted 800 million kina.
Former Prime Minister and member for Yalebo Pangia, Peter O'Neill, said Treasury was only able to raise 135 million kina instead of the requested 800 million kina in this week's government-inscribed stocks or GIS and the Treasury Bill program, falling short of 665 million kina. He said he received a copy of an email from the Treasury Securities Division asking investors to buy a special non-competitive Treasury Bill of 300 million kina after the government failed to raise the targeted 800 million kina. He attributed the inability to raise this money to investors not having confidence in buying stocks and treasury bills anymore.
And the concern is that this gives lack of confidence by investors and our own domestic investors who are now refusing or not willing to buy those inscribed stocks or treasury bills, which are short-term high interest rates. So there's no appetite for it.
Realizing they would not make enough money through GIS and treasury bills, Treasury made a special placement yesterday asking investors to buy a special non-competitive treasury bill of 300 million kina.
Today we saw an email that was being circulated through investors right throughout the country, especially investors who normally buy treasury bills from government, which is a 12 months, up to 12 months bill. Again, to raise money for government to finance its budget because they don't have enough money to pay for bills. Today, they've offered up to, for 365 days, 8% interest rates. So interest rates that they are paying is now climbing much higher than what the banks are lending to many corporate companies in PNG.
O'Neill described this placement as a last-ditch, desperate to be able to raise money at any cost. O'Neill's advice to the government is to stop spending money they don't have.
And I think that is why I released that statement today, basically saying government needs to stop spending. They need to stop spending money they don't have. We can't keep on borrowing money to pay for our day-to-day bills. It just adds up to more problems into the future. So our loans have doubled in the last 5 years.
O'Neill said he is taking this up not just as a politician in the opposition, but as a concerned citizen, businessman and taxpayer.
So I think it's important that Papua New Guinea should start talking, start thinking. Tomorrow is not going to get any better, it's going to get worse. If we allow these people to think that, oh, no God man questioning me plus, or why not, me plus must worry loaders or something. And we'll not care. Because they think that nobody's speaking against it.
He said given the negative economic indicators, this should be a cause of concern for every thinking Papua New Guinean. Ruth Rongola, TV1 News.
The vote of no confidence against Prime Minister James Marape is far from over, with the opposition planning to submit another notice in the November sitting. Member of opposition and former Prime Minister Peter O'Neill revealed this in an exclusive interview with TVWAN on Thursday. He said this will be their last attempt to again test the grounds on which the current PM stands, given the current economic climate of the country.
Member of opposition and former Prime Minister Peter O'Neill said the opposition will make a last attempt at the vote of no confidence against the Prime Minister when Parliament resumes in November. Section 145 of the Constitution clearly indicates when a vote of no confidence should be taken against a sitting Prime Minister. It states that a VONC should be done within the first 4 years of the reign of the current government. Hence, the VONC is still open for members of opposition as long as it is within the time frame set by the Constitution. Having just lost their first attempt to remove the member for Taripori, James Marape, as Prime Minister early this month, the opposition has not lost hope.
We will be definitely putting one up in November. But that will be the final one, because we are not going to create instability for the country. We want people to make a real choice. Do they want Marape still in there, continuously doing these corrupt deals and stealing and carrying on for the next 2 or 3 years? I hope you will celebrate 50 years like that in 2025.
O'Neill says the opposition believes that the numbers Marape now has need to be tested again and again, comparing the numbers Marape had just after the elections and the ones he had in the recent VONC.
Now, when we have a situation like that, he was elected by the same members of parliament, 104, eight members who voted for him as prime minister after the elections. Last vote count, he only had 75. That's a big difference. That means 1/3 of your parliament has no faith in you. 1/3 of your parliament. So obviously, there are more disgruntled members who are unhappy, rightfully so. Rightfully, for the people of this country, they are right to be unhappy that the Prime Minister is mismanaging the country.
When asked who the PM nominee would be, O'Neill said that was something for the opposition caucus to decide.
That's a prerogative of the caucus. And caucus is made out of the numbers of members who are in opposition and those who are wanting a change. So that will be determined at the right time.
Parliament resumes Tuesday, November 26, 2024 at 2 p.m. Ruth Rongola, TV1 News.
Police in Northern Province will be clamping down on cybercrime offenders effective immediately, especially those using social media platforms to cause disaffection and spread false information on the development front. Provincial Police Commander A.Y. Segi issued this warning in light of continuous doom trolls. Segi said the dissemination of misleading content can sow discord and create unnecessary tension within the community. Government and servants of essential utility services such as power, water, health, and education. He urges all online trolls who are actively disseminating information on social media platforms to do so using facts and verify their claims via credible sources before going into air or on social media platforms. Law and order, especially petty crime, is high at the Gelegele resettlement area in East New Britain province. Boys and girls are dropping out of school at a young age, resulting in a rise in social disorder.
5 resettlement areas were secured by the East New Britain provincial government in the aftermath of the 1994 twin volcanic eruptions. These resettlement estates are Gelegele, Warena, Clifton, Asing, Bunakabi, and Sikut. 30 years have since passed since the September 19, 1994 eruption. The head teacher of the Waterhouse Memorial Primary School at Gelegele, Mesulam Gamaliel, outlined that families have outgrown the 40-meter by 50-meter portion of land that were given. Overpopulation with limited opportunities for the youth has led to an increase in law and order issues.
We are having a number of fights that is affecting our school. It's happening since about monthly. We experience villagers fighting against each other, and it affects our students in attending school. So sometimes they're being stopped on the road, they become victims of fighting, and they cannot make it to the school because they're being abused, physically abused or verbally abused by the youth in the community. So when they are in the school, we make sure that we lock them, to lock the gate, and we have normal lessons.
Gelegele in the Kombu LLG of Rabaul district has not seen much change in the past decade or ever since their resettlement. The people there have been left to their own devices until the election of one of their own and PNG's former Kumuls coach, Michael Marum, as the governor of East New Britain. Changes are slowly taking place under the leadership of Marum, with small shelters built for mothers to sell the produce, the installment of street lights, the construction of new infrastructure at the Rabaul Gelegele Sports Oval, and the groundbreaking of a new police post on Thursday, September 19th. Gamaliel believes continuous awareness is the way forward.
I think we got already the second or third generation that are occupying a piece of land, and the scarcity of resources is one of the major issues that is affecting people. Sustainability of the home, it makes them to resort to other things that are not good, like violence, stealing, pickpocketing, and all these, attacking people, even all that.
Kamala Guare, TV1 News.
The Department of Community Development and Religion this week held a consultation on the national policy on disability implementation in Port Moresby. The two-day consultation was held to discuss way forward, the mechanism of how to address the issues and challenges faced with the persons with disabilities.
The National Policy on Disability Implementation consultation started on Monday, September 23rd. Participants included deputy administrators from all across the country, provincial community development advisors, women with disabilities, and development partners, namely Australia PNG, Law and Justice. Jean Eparo, a disability advocate of over 40 years and also a former officer in the Department for Community Development and Religion for over 20 years, said according to the United Nations standard, in a given population, usually 17% of the total population have some form of disability.
In this workshop, Department for Community Development is having this workshop to talk about the policy, the second national policy on disability. This policy was developed in 2015. This is and it was endorsed in 2016. Now the country has been implementing it for the last 8 years. So we are now bringing together all the provinces and organizations of persons with disabilities and some persons with disabilities themselves.
She said the discussions were on how the policy was implemented, what sort of difficulties they are facing, so that when they do the review, the solutions identified can be included in the next policy.
They asked me to come back and revive the disability program because he kind of felt that some of the things we had in place were going down. So I came here and I've been working with them for 4 months. And what we've done is that we put an implementation plan on that second policy, which is going to be reviewed. So we want to look at what we can do in these 2 years, the 2024 and 2025. What can we do that could have been done, but we did not do.
Eparo said the secretary wanted them to discuss and put in place the governance structure on the disability program in the country. Frida Kana, TV1 News.
This is TV1 News. After the break, PNG's tourism potential and security and a new pipeline for Miss Bird of Paradise.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaru, get up a big smile on face. Time for kimchi and a great mutu. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
Open hands.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bunyamyumi.
Right across the nation, we eat snack crackers. Emi Trubla. All get a young planalapun, only like him snacks crackers. Only make him here, no PNG, one-time lay biscuit company. It's crunchy and tasty. It's irresistible.
Are you thirsty for more? Celebrate this independence with Pepsi's new look, same great taste, and lower than low prices. Only 2 kilo 20 in stores now. Includes Pepsi, Pepsi Max, 7-Up, Mirinda, Mountain Dew, Gold Spot, and Coca-Cola. Hurry to your nearest store for
Welcome back. The 2024 World Tourism Day Conference in Papua New Guinea spotlighted the nation's tourism potential, with key discussions on law enforcement, infrastructure challenges, and ethical tourism. Speakers including Chief Superintendent Kyle Saltmarsh and Dr. Joyce Rail addressed the role of tourism in fostering peace, security, and the concept of specialized tourism police to enhance visitor safety.
The World Tourism Day Conference 2024 brought together stakeholders to explore the future of tourism in Papua New Guinea, addressing critical issues such as law enforcement and infrastructure development. The event featured a keynote address by Chief Superintendent Kyle Saltmarsh, Chief of Staff of the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary, who spoke on tourism as a catalyst for peace and security in PNG.
Proactive communication and engagement with your provincial police commanders. Early engagement by tourism operators, by the tourism sector, with provincial police commanders ensures that we can anticipate, understand and address your challenges. We can't be everywhere at once, and we can't be expected to know what's going to happen if you don't talk to us, if we don't engage with our community and work together. Maintaining open dialogue with provincial police commanders ensures that our investment in rebuilding the police force can be mobilised and directed to where it's needed, to support key industries such as the tourism sector.
Dr. Joyce Rail, head of the Tourism and Hospitality Management Department at the University of Papua New Guinea, introduced the concept of tourism police, emphasizing the importance of specialized security measures to enhance visitor safety.
With the successful implementation of the Tourist Police Initiative in Port Moresby can enhance its reputation as a safe destination, driving economic growth, boosting tourism, and benefiting both the local community and the broader industry. Since we are celebrating the World Tourism Day, safety is the key to unlocking PNG's tourism potential. With a dedicated tourist police unit, we can ensure Every visitor experiences a million different journeys in a safe and welcoming environment, making our country a destination of choice.
A key message from the conference highlighted that tourism is more than just travel. It is a tool for promoting social justice, human rights, and economic equity. Ethical tourism, which supports local communities and uplifts marginalized groups, was emphasized as a way to make a positive global impact. As World Tourism Day 2024 approached, participants were encouraged to travel with purpose and contribute to a more just and equitable world. Gelegele Jr., TVWAN News.
The Papua New Guinea Tourism Promotion Authority held the World Tourism Day conference today at the APEC House in Port Moresby, drawing key players from the tourism industry to discuss strategies for overcoming challenges affecting the sector.
Under the theme Tourism and Peace, Unlocking PNG's Potential Through Addressing Law and Infrastructure Challenges, the World Tourism Day conference focused on critical issues such as law and order, aviation and infrastructure, which continue to hinder the growth of tourism in the country. Notable speakers included Dominic Kaumu, Acting Managing Director of the National Airports Corporation Air Niugini CEO Gary Seddon, NCT Governor Powes Pakop, and the Commissioner of Police David Manning.
Minister and our CEO and all the stakeholders, our problem is that we are not harnessing that potential so that we can realize it to the extent that we can and which is possible. A number of factors, I would say, that hinders us. Of course, infrastructure is a big challenge still, and the government is trying to work on that. It has a lot of implication in terms of both roads and bridges accessibility, but also, the facilities themselves, from the, 5-star hotels to the, eco resorts. We just have to step up.
TPA CEO Eric Mossman Uvovo highlighted the need for collaborative efforts between government agencies and the private sector to address these challenges. He stressed that improving security infrastructure and aviation services is key to unlocking the country's tourism potential.
When tourists visit, they bring investments and global attention, engaging with local communities to work together and build a secure and welcoming environment. Law and order still remains a key concern for the tourism industry in Papua New Guinea. Tourists need to feel safe, and businesses must operate without fear of disruption.
Without peace, there can be no tourism. 24,000 tourists. That is not the headline. We are talking about those tourists that came off cruise ships. PNG should be receiving 100 times more. Ladies and gentlemen, tourists are overflying us. They are sailing around us. They are bypassing Papua New Guinea. And there's only one reason they are doing that. There is no peace in this country.
As the conference wrapped up, TPA also announced the launch of its new business hub at the Pacific MMI building, signaling a step forward in strengthening the authority's capacity to engage with stakeholders. Minister Nama officiated the opening of the hub, setting the stage for further developments in tourism operations. Gelegele Jr., TVWAN News.
In addition to the conference, TPA officially launched its new business hub located on the ground floor of the Pacific MMI building. Minister Belden Nama, Governor Powes Pakop, and TPA CEO Eric Mossman Uvovo were present to inaugurate the new office complex, marking another milestone for TPA in its efforts to strengthen and support the tourism industry in Papua New Guinea.
And I believe that this we can facilitate the development of the small people. And this is the center that will go along, and this is the first of its kind. And the success of it can be replicated right across the country. We believe in this. We want to create a house first, and then we call for partnership with them. NCDC is the first partner, so as other industry players and partners, so that the small people can come confidently, access this facility, have the training, build their capacity, and go out. That is why it's called the Tourism Business Incubation Center, targeting the small people.
The inaugural Miss Bird of Paradise Committee is confirming a new pipeline in 2025 for contestants applying for the Miss Bird of Paradise crown. Committee Chair Anna Byers is inviting provinces to have individual pageants to allow a flow in the pageant system. Lessons have been learned and changes will be made to the Miss Bird of Paradise pageant in the coming years. Committee Chair Anna Byers confirmed that apart from the leadership workshop that will be provided for the young contestants, 2025 will be a year for a new pipeline.
Next year, the pipeline to enter is through your provinces.
She shared that several parliamentary leaders are for the idea regarding provincial cultural shows and provincial pageants.
We need to get provincial participation to make it a truly national Miss Papua New Guinea. And so that's for next year. But please, if you're from the province and you want to apply this year, nothing is stopping you. You can apply. But next year, you will have to participate in your province first before you come. So like, for example, Morobe, Miss Unitec can participate in Miss Morobe. You know, the districts, like Sundown, I know they're trying to do Miss Nuku, Miss Teleforming, Miss District participation in December for their festival. That's what they're trying to do, and they want a Miss Sundown coming here.
Byers confirmed that reigning Miss Bird of Paradise, Tyler Singerok, is working on a 5-year plan for the pageant.
Before Tyler's reign ends, she is going to launch our 5-year roadmap. We don't want it to be just a pageant. We have to have a growth plan. A plan that's going to grow these young women, going to grow our children with disability, going to grow the provinces.
The MBOP committee is encouraging provinces to organize pageants to improve the flow of the Miss Bird of Paradise pageant in the country. A signed deal today has confirmed Miss Bird of Paradise PNG Tyler Singirok as the official ambassador of PNG Tourism. Ms. Singirok is tasked with promoting the country's rich cultural heritage and natural beauty both at home and on international platforms. The partnership was solidified through the signing of Memorandum of Understanding between Tourism Promotion Authority and the Committee of the Miss Bird of Paradise pageant. TPA CEO Eric Mossman and MBOP PNG Committee Chair Lady Anna Byers signed the MOA. Minister for Tourism, Arts, Culture and Border Security Belden Nama expressed his confidence in Singirok. Minister Nama announced 300,000 kina in funding to support the Miss Bird of Paradise PNG pageant, which will be held on December the 3rd, 2024. And now we take a look at the finance news. The kina closed lower at $0.2553 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2478 US, $0.3559 Australian dollars, $0.2139 euro, and 35.53 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, all closed higher except crude oil closed lower and copper closed the day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, ASX closed higher, and all ordinaries closed higher as well. You're watching TV1 News. We'll have news abroad when we return. Stay tuned.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Find PNG made.
Are you thirsty for more? Celebrate this independence with Pepsi's new look, same great taste, and lower than low prices. Only $2.20 in stores now. Includes Pepsi, Pepsi Max, 7 Up, Mirinda, Mountain Dew, Gold Spot, and Coca-Cola. Hurry to your nearest store for more.
More clean, more sweet. Flame natural white sugar. Make more.
Scale Rise brings to you some Scale Indie vibes this independence. Cashing out a total of 300,000 Kina in prize money around PNG this independence. 4 fortnightly draws, 75 fortnightly winners, 300 total Scale Rise winners, and 1,000 Kina Scale Indie prize for every Scale winner. Here's how to enter the promotion. Buy any Scale or Ori Rice product, write your full name and contact details on the back of the store receipt, drop your entry into the entry box in store. For more information, either check in store or follow us on our Scale Rise PNG page. Terms and conditions apply. Scale Rise, and buy you like.
Thanks for staying with us. World leaders, senior government officials, and civil society representatives joined forces at UN headquarters on Thursday to reaffirm commitment to nuclear disarmament as a global priority. The high-level meeting was held to commemorate the International Day for the Total Elimination of Nuclear Weapons, observed annually on the 26th of September. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said there have been threats to use a nuclear weapon, highlighting fears of a new arms race. Meanwhile, decades-old norms established against the use, spread, and testing of nuclear weapons are being eroded. Guterres said the first-hand experience of the Hibakasha, the survivors of the atomic bombing of the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, stand as clear reminders of where the nuclear path ends. Arriving in Australia as a refugee comes with many challenges. Just one is trying to get an education as an adult. A program in Western Sydney that gives mothers a chance to go to the same school as their children is set to receive a boost in federal funding.
In the final class of term, Aisha Abdullah sits in the front row and eagerly answers her teacher's questions. It's a far cry from when Ms. Abdullah first immigrated from Malaysia in 2020. She wanted to study, but making her way into education in a new country proved difficult.
What does nervous mean?
Until 2 years ago, when Ms. Abdullah joined a community life skills class teaching English, numeracy and employability skills.
I thought the teacher, I cannot study. Teacher say, you can.
The courses are part of the Adult and Community Education program and allow mothers to study at the same school as their children.
For many of the program participants, the classes provide a way to get outside of their homes and take their first steps into a new community.
It's not called sing.
Once they've graduated from these classes, many move on to courses in social services and workplace skills at Lakemba Uniting Church. After immigrating from Pakistan in 2009, Sadaf Saba completed 4 skills courses before studying at TAFE.
I am putting some effort, I'm going out and I'm doing something.
The federal government says an extra $23 million in funding will help support education options for these students.
They've been given a real sense of their capacity to be leaders in their community and to do the things they want to do through the power of adult learning.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is urging all Australians still in Lebanon to get out now. He says the government does have a contingency plan should war be declared, but says citizens need to leave immediately while commercial flights are still available.
I've been saying to our citizens who are there in Lebanon, some of whom have recently travelled to Lebanon, that they should return home by commercial aircraft while that is available. It is extraordinary that as recently as the past couple of months, people have continued to travel there against government advice. It will be difficult to get everyone out quickly if that is required.
As part of our series of stories on education, the ABC has spoken to several teachers who say they're struggling to teach children who are turning up to school tired and unable to focus on learning. That comes amid poor NAPLAN results and falling rates of school attendance. So how can parents help what happens in the classroom?
While parents can't control what their kids get up to during school hours, experts say there are plenty of things that can be done at home to ensure kids are more confident and capable in the classroom. Among the most important are sleep and nutrition. Child psychologist and parent Cassie Zintavalonis sees how essential adequate sleep is both at home and in her practice. She advocates a regular bedtime routine.
Time for bed, let's go.
Okay.
All right.
Sleep can kind of be the first thing that we can change, and we can change quite easily without medical intervention.
This year's NAPLAN results show 1 in 3 Australian school students is not meeting literacy and numeracy benchmarks, and school attendance rates are dropping. Research shows insufficient sleep impacts attention span, memory, creativity and learning ability, and it's linked to anxiety and depression. Australian guidelines recommend 5 to 13-year-olds sleep for 9 to 11 hours and 14 to 17-year-olds sleep 8 to 10 hours. A nutritious diet can improve mental health and enhance cognitive skills and academic performance.
If kids can be eating kind of regularly good healthy foods, including fruits and vegetables and good proteins, it sustains energy, promotes kind of focus and learning.
Experts say it's also important to provide a safe space for kids to talk about any problems that they might be having at school and to establish that while they're young. Many teachers are concerned about students being exposed to inappropriate content online at home, then bringing explicit language and violent or sexual topics of conversation into the classroom. Jen Hoey started advocating to keep kids safe on the internet after her daughter encountered a predator through an online game.
And I became very quickly aware that as parents, we are not sufficiently understanding the risks that our children face when they go online unsupervised, in particular in their bedrooms.
Keeping devices out of bedrooms is strongly encouraged in her online parenting group, and using a lockbox overnight.
The country's tomato supply chain is bracing for disruptions and potential price hikes due to the detection of an exotic tomato virus in South Australia. Locally, hundreds of jobs have already been lost, but an impact on tomato prices is expected to be felt nationally.
Red SA-grown tomatoes have already been banned in 2 Australian states. A potential lack of supply could see consumers outside of South Australia fork out more for the product.
So if South Australian tomatoes can't be sent interstate, then we'll have more supply here in South Australia. So interstate they might see increased prices, but here in South Australia they'll be stable, and if anything they could be lower.
The country's first detection of an exotic tomato virus has seen entire plantations dumped. A devastating blow for growers, but consumers may have to wait a little longer before they know the full impact of the virus.
So it could be months before we see the ramifications of this, because the peak season for tomatoes isn't really until mid-October.
The hundreds of staggered job losses has also been criticised by the South Australian opposition.
This is an absolute debacle in terms of the way that the state government has managed this.
I'm very pleased to say that a number of the workers who are Pacific Islanders have already been placed with other organisations. They are officially and technically employed by an agency rather than direct.
But hundreds of jobs are still in limbo, and the United Workers Union is now calling for financial assistance for workers.
Finding new work is going to be difficult for some of those labour hire workers because some people have English language concerns. Other people, this is their first job in Australia.
There are pleas for people to continue buying tomatoes, with the federal government confirming the virus is not harmful to humans.
You're watching TV1 News. Next in sports with Rex, Ayton reflects on stellar season and Barras win SWS League A opener.
Hardware House is more than just a store. It is where quality meets affordability, where culture is proudly celebrated. Spanning 9 provinces, we pride ourselves in offering top-notch customer support and services. We're more than just a store. We're more than a brand. We are Hardware House.
These two are creeping into your personal space. Why don't we send them packing? Oh, maybe not.
Bing bang bing, bum bum.
Dreaming for more than the life we've known. There is more to what the future holds. You be holy man, no walk one time. Oh, 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 oh. We dare to believe in incredible things. Oh, 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 oh. With money plus we're ready to go.
It's the Roosters who advance for a showdown against the Melbourne Storm. Here they come again. Tupou! He plants it down. On for Farlongo. Kicks, jumps. There's another kick. Warbrick strolls in. Watters says interference infield. Tedesco showing it. Tedesco! He's in once again.
You can find all our local news, sports and entertainment on the TV1 Extra page on our website. TV1 Extra gives you access to Scope, Hunters and digital ExxonMobil Cup highlights and many more. Just one click to access. Stay updated, stay entertained. TV1 Online, just one click away.
Welcome back. In sports, despite falling short by one game to replicating Foundation PNG Hunters Fairy Tale 2017 Grand Final glory, at least making it to the preliminary final this year was a dream come true for rookie coach Paul Ayton and his 2024 playing group. In his end-of-the-season assessment and evaluation of the team's performances, Coach Ayton confidently said it's definite 9 out of 10 rating for the Hunters, which is a remarkable achievement for a roller coaster season. From the way the Hunters finished this year, there's a better day ahead if they can maintain the core of the team next season.
Paul Ayton, a former NRL and Super League star, initially took up the role of Hunters assistant coach to Matt Church between 2021 and 2022 and continued in 23 under Stanley Tappen. The departure of Tappen end of season presented an opportunity for Ayton to put his hand up for a crack at the Hunters' top job for the 2024 season. 6 months on, the Western Highlander is relishing his rookie season with a top 5 finish and qualifying the Hunters for their first finals playoff in 7 years, from 12 wins, 8 losses and 3 byes. A testament to Ayton's instinct, confidence and trust in his ability to share and impart his valuable knowledge and experience of the game and inspire and mentor the young playing group. In this special end-of-the-year recap, Coach Ayton gives his recollection of how his debut season unfolded and the teething issues he had to deal with and transcending to the finals.
Probably, yeah, we took about 50 players. We tried to include some of the junior Kumals as well, just to give them that a little bit of experience with us, and then hopefully they return again this next pre-season, so they're a bit more familiar with how we do things. Yeah, it was a really big task, but you know, we can set the training programs, we can do all that, but we need buy-in from the players, and I felt they did that, and I think it showed towards the back end of the year where they really bought in and took themselves all the way to the prelims.
Maintaining consistency and a strong defensive mindset was key to the Hunters' campaign this season. At times it was undone with ill discipline and lack of due care in some aspects of their game. Ironically, Ayton praised his boys, though, for realizing the importance of winning with a change of attitude, especially bad habits. Again, injury was another issue that did not help their cause, especially in the final series.
Discipline was much better this year. You know, we made a real focus point early in the season just to remove certain aspects of our game, and I think we did that really well. I think we had Benji, so 1, Junior Rob 2, and then Clint on the last game. So there's only 3. We missed 3 weeks.
Winning away has been the downside of the recent Hunters teams, but this year the Hunters' winning culture has changed with some comprehensive wins on the road. Ayton said this year he's come up with a strategy and game plan with emphasis on effort areas and what's working for them. He said it all goes back to the game day preparation and keeping the team tight and stable. The experience of senior players in the team also helps.
I didn't really think too much about the previous coaches on what they did. I just seeing what I thought would be best and try to keep everything as stable as possible, so that we focus a lot on that. We changed a little bit about how we prepare for the game.
Ayton has also indicated he'll be involved with the national team in some capacity, helping out the new Kumal coach Jason Demetrio and staff in the upcoming PM's 13 match and the Pacific Championships. The Hunters coach also confirmed that Hunters preseason should kick off early November through to December before the holidays, resuming in January 2025. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
PNG Barramundis recorded their first win in the 2024 to 2026 ICC Cricket World Cup Challenge League A after defeating Denmark by 6 wickets in Nairobi, Kenya on Thursday. The CWC Challenge League A is a qualifying tournament for 5 countries to book themselves a place in the 2027 World Cup. The PNG Barramundis have got their first win over Denmark in the 2024 to 2026 ICC Cricket World Cup Challenge League A. Barramundis won the toss and elected to bowl. Denmark had a slow start in the first inning. The opening batters later picked up the pace halfway through the batsman line. The Danish opposition was good with the bat, but couldn't contain the equally strong PNG bowlers. Denmark was all out after the 26th over. Barramundis bowler Kabua Morea had field day, taking out 5 wickets. Fellow teammates Alain Now recorded 4 for 20 and Michael Charlie 1 for 8. Morea was named player of the match in the fixture. In the batting department, the ever-reliable Charles Amini, veteran Sese Bau, and Hiri Hiri proved handy for the team with their batting. Following the strong 6 wickets win, Barramundis head coach Tatenda Taibu said his face bowlers utilized the conditions well and were clinical. Denmark was bowled out for 70 runs, making the chase easy for the Barras. The Barramundis are off for the great start. They play Jersey, Qatar, Kuwait and Kenya in the hope of qualifying for the 2027 ICC T20 World Cup. Papua New Guinea's Olympic weightlifter Dika Soa has claimed gold, qualifying following her debut in the 2024 United Masters Weightlifting Championship in Suva, Fiji. The renowned PNG weightlifter was among 4 out of an initial 6 PNG Masters lifters who competed in the women's 40 to 44 50 kg division. She lifted a total of 158 kg, recording 68 in the snatch and a 90 kg lift in the clean and jerk. Despite failing to claim the stage in the Commonwealth Championships earlier, due to elbow injury, Towa 40 set the stage on fire on Wednesday night in the 40 to 44 age group lift and won the gold medal for her team. Towa is among former PNG lifter Undu Heni, who also claimed a silver medal after his Australian opponent in the 73 kg 50 to 54 age group. The Australian National Rugby League season 2024 has come down to the final 4 teams. Arch-rivals Sydney Roosters and Melbourne Storm face off tonight to secure the first spot in the grand final. Winner in the Penrith and Sharks match on Saturday will fill in the remaining spot. Two of the most successful rugby league clubs in the last 10 years will be ripping into each other in the match that will decide who plays in the grand final on October 6th. The two teams met twice this year and Melbourne Storm won both matches. Their round 7 clash in Alliance Stadium saw Storm coming out on top with 18 points to 12 win. They met again in round 20 at Amy Park, Victoria, and Storm claimed the comprehensive win at home 24 points to 8. They are now posing for the most important match of the season with the grand final ticket on the line. Winner proceeds into grand final and loser bows out. While both teams will be hoping for the best result, the head-to-head history favors Storm. The Storm have won 9 of the past 13 meets at Amy Park since 2010. It will be a tough ask for the Roosters to get the win in Melbourne. But if there is anything to go by, Trent Robinson's men will have to draw inspiration from their departing players in the likes of long-time club members in Gerard Warrior-Hargreaves and Luke Keary and young Joseph's Manu and Suali E. The form of Jerome Hughes and Harry Grant is the main reason the Storm finished the competition on top. The strike weapon on the edges in Elisa Katoa and Sean Blow will be testing the Roosters' edge defense. Inform Rooster and State of Origin Series best player, Angus Crichton is in career best form and will be up for the task. The match kicks off at 7 p.m. this evening. Watch this preliminary final on TVWAN Sports. And that wraps up the sports segment. Jasmine Rujak provides us with the details.
Southern, Port Moresby and Popondetta becoming cloudy with showers and possible thunderstorm. Daru cloudy periods with rain showers, drizzles at times. Kerama some showers and possible thunderstorm. Alotau cloudy with periods of rain. Momase, Ley and Vanimo cloudy periods with some showers and possible thunderstorm. Madang mostly fine. Wewak partly cloudy with few possible rain drizzles. New Guinea Islands, Lorengau sunny then some rain showers. Keviang partly cloudy with possible brief rain drizzles. Kokopo Rabaul partly cloudy. Kimbe partly cloudy with some possible afternoon showers with possible thunderstorm. And Buka mostly cloudy with some afternoon rain showers and possible thunderstorm. Highlands, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Barnes and Kundiawa, some afternoon rain showers and possible thunderstorm. Mendi and Tari and Wabeg, cloudy periods with some rain showers and possible thunderstorm. Ocean forecast. Coral seas. Seas moderate with east to southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots. Solomon Seas. Seas light to moderate with northeast to southeast winds of 5 to 20 knots. Bismarck Seas. Seas slight with southeast to northeast winds of 5 to 15 knots. And Pacific Ocean. Seas slight with southeast winds of 5 to 10 knots. Coastal waters forecast. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru, Kiwai Islands to Keramayul Island, Hood Point to Samar Islands. And waters of West New Britain. Sea 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of Manus and its western group of islands and waters of New Ireland to East New Britain to Bougainville. Sea 0.5 to 1 meter. And that ends the news tonight. Have a safe weekend. Bye now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.